Here comes the money.
Here we go, money talks.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Dollar, 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 dollar. Ching, ching, bing, bing, cut the chatter. You ain't talking money, then your talking don't matter. Ching, ching, bing, bing, patent pockets. You make a dollar, dollar, can a damn, so stop it.
Fans, welcome in to the first ever Money Mark Radio podcast. This is Chandler Anderson, your host, and we've got a great assortment of talent here today, and we're going to have a great podcast, and we're going to address some of those rumors that are out there about different organizations. We've got the international superstar, JP Case Jones, here with us. JP, say hi to all your fans, your millions and millions of fans.
Hi, kids.
We've also got the manager of champions and the champion of managers, Z Pelosi, here with us.
Man, I'm not going to say hi to any of these losers out there, man.
And we have the guy that everybody seems to get a thrill of picking on, a 17-year-old kid, Chase Poarch, who's put himself in the business to try to make something of this business, not make something of himself, but make something of this business. Chase, say hi to everybody.
Hey, everybody on everything y'all listening to.
And Chase, we promise we're not going to take any low blows about, somebody missing a toe or anything like that, or we don't address health issues on this podcast.
Like cripples.
Or syphilis, either way, but or blue ones. So we also have an extra special guest here. You've heard me call him on ASW television the Future. You've heard him called the Magnificent One. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is James Arp, and I'm here with a few good buddies of mine. Yeah, I said good buddies.
Well, James, we are glad you joined us today because I think you've got some insight into what's going on the local wrestling scene. Let's start off with a topic that kind of ignited all this. Mr. Z Pelosi, for those who don't know, there was a wrestler that has been around a long time. I think is a good guy. He's had a series of unfortunate events happen. He and his fiance lost a child, and his father passed away on the same day. Chris Kearns. Great guy, I think he is.
The Iceman.
The
One of the
Iceman.
reasons that JP is a wrestler today,
Black
Chris
Ice.
Kearns.
Black ice. The most dangerous thing in the environment and in the wrestling ring.
That's right.
Black ice.
Black
But he lost a child and his father on the same day. So, the wrestling organization TWA put together a benefit with Yukon Jack as the main guy. The advertisements were all Yukon Jack, Mr. Entertainment.
This is after he confirmed that he would be a part of the show. I made it clear that I didn't think that he would show up, that he would just flat out turn him down, and I was wrong. Yukon said that he would be there at this benefit.
And I imagine it's because the Brotherhood is so thick and so tight that the Brotherhood wanted to support one of their own, Chris Kearns. Chasey, what happened? What happened that night of the benefit?
Long story short, Jack was a part of all the advertisement. He was the big push. He was the big draw of that show.
On Chris Kearns' request.
benefit, yeah.
He requested that Yukon
Yes.
be the big star of the show. This is what Chris Kearns wanted. This is what he talked to Yukon Jack about, and Jack agreed to do it.
Exactly. So 15 minutes before the show, Jack sends a text. Sorry, bro, can't make it. Good luck. All right. So everybody's pissed.
Brotherhood. Hashtag Brotherhood.
Brotherhood. Everybody's pissed, talking about it in the back. So I take it upon myself to go on Facebook, make a video, call Jack out, do something nobody else.
No, wait a minute. No, wait a
What's
minute.
going
Before
on?
that happened, wasn't there something with Chase where he was called out or something, and there was a long thread of comments where everyone was bullying Chase, and then Angie started speaking about the Brotherhood and trying to tell Angie Arp, which is Yukon's wife, was attempting to tell Chase about the Brotherhood of professional wrestling like she knew anything about it. I think that was what really started
Well,
it.
we'll be honest. I mean, we've all taken road trips with Jack. I mean,
yeah.
we have. And,
I love Yukon Jack.
And Jack's always saying...
He wears my singlets every week.
Jack's always saying... Yeah, exactly. Jack's always saying, keep your old lady's mouth shut. If they don't know anything about the business, keep their mouth
And I agree with that.
Exactly.
I do full-heartedly.
It's
You'll
true.
never see any girl that I'm with ever say anything about professional wrestling on Facebook or anything because I won't stand for it. It's just not going to happen.
True. So Angie goes on there, runs her mouth to Chase, talking about the business. You should have done this. You should have done this. Blah, blah, blah. I call her out as well. Told her to keep her mouth shut pretty much. She didn't know what she was talking about. Blah, blah, blah. So I make this Facebook video. It's a shoot. Everything I said it was true. It was true now. True now as it was then. And
But let's be honest. You were told to say certain things.
Exactly.
You were told to say certain things. You was even told to make the video. It's not like you went on your own to just get this heat with Jack. It was part of a promotional ploy from TWA, correct?
That's the thing. It's not just me that has heat with Jack. There's a lot of guys that has heat with Jack.
But they don't have the guts to say it.
But Jack doesn't have the balls.
Hashtag no balls.
Hashtag no balls to say that to anybody else. He doesn't have the balls to say it to JP. He doesn't have the balls to say it to Bobby Lowe. Anybody else. But he thinks he can pick on me because I'm a quote manager. I'm the small guy, whatever. So he saw fit to fire back at me. He went on Facebook, said he was going to bust my mouth. All right, so that turns into Jack becomes another big draw. Nobody thought he was going to show up to this one. He's at TWA in Winchester again. I told him in the Facebook video I was going to call him out. 8 o'clock, I was in the ring. I was there. I called him out. Played his music, everything.
We were there at 8 o'clock.
Jack did not show up.
In fact, it was a little bit 8:03 after the national anthem. But it was right there at the beginning of the
Exactly.
show.
About 8:05. We gave him 5 extra minutes. He still couldn't make it.
What time did he get there? About
8:25.
8:25.
8:30, something like that.
So he could have been in the parking lot, just didn't get in there.
Exactly.
Well, that's true.
Point
DJ.
blank.
He could.
Exactly.
He could have been squinting at his watch
He didn't
and was
show-
unable to see what time it was.
No, his old lady was keeping him away. That was the main deal. It was her. He probably would have been on.
But
that
he
time
showed
if it
up
wasn't
with
her.
half the locker
Yeah,
room.
he showed up half the locker room. Now,
With great guys. I mean, Petey and Grease Lightning are two of the best.
Well,
that
I also
they
got a
have.
phone call from. Yeah, Grace is a good guy. I mean, he did call me and say he wasn't going to be there. It wasn't none of his business. But
He told me the same thing.
He
I
said, but he
expect
was
him to be
there.
there. They're family.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's all right.
So there's no hard feelings or
No.
anything. Like I said,
I mean-
I love Grease and I
Yeah.
love Petey. I've known them both for nearly 20 years.
And you know, we all know that where that show is going when if anything ever happens to Papa Paul, which I hope is not anytime soon. But you know, that's another thing. Jack calls SWF his show, his business. No, sir. Papa Paul runs SWF. Papa Paul is the backbone of SWF, not Jack. Jack doesn't have a backbone of himself, much less for SWF.
Now,
All right?
DJ, we don't want you to get upset.
I'm not
If
getting
anything
upset.
starts coming across that upsets you, let us know. But let me stop you here for a second. You know, one thing that I have noticed is the brotherhood. When you look up the definition of a brotherhood, it's a group of people with the same moral value and the same task in life or the same motivational goal in life. And you know what? Maybe they are a brotherhood. Maybe they are a brotherhood of people who want to feel special on a Friday or Saturday night before they have to go back on Monday and work for people at the apartment complex and put in hot water heaters. Maybe they want to feel special before they have to go back Monday and deliver a couch. Or maybe they want to feel special before they have to go tan some hides Monday. Maybe it is a brotherhood, but let me tell you what somebody who is 30-something years old that talks down to a 17-year-old kid is, and that is a punk. They are a punk-ass bitch that would pick on a 17-year-old kid who wants to follow his dream. Because just maybe that 17-year-old kid has a spine and he doesn't want to sit there and be told by somebody who's trying to bang his ex-girlfriend what he should be doing or what he shouldn't be doing. Because here's the truth. People don't know this, but I went to school with Chase's dad, and if they mess with Chase too bad, they're going to find their head rolling down the hallway. Because Chris Poarch doesn't play. And I wish that half of these people that claim to be legends or veterans or locals to legends had the spine and the desire to do well that Chase does.
Oh, I agree completely.
And if more of those guys would actually shut the hell up and decide to put the work in that Chase has put in, mopping the SWF arena, you know, helping clean up the ring, helping do things like that, maybe they would have a better show.
Well, maybe if they cared more about the wrestling fans, which in turn would mean they cared more about making a dollar, than they did about their own egos, they could also contribute to the business that they claim to love so much. Instead, they rape the business for their own egotistical urges and needs to feel special. Exactly the way you put it, because wrestling to them is a break from reality.
On that point, JP, I want to read a definition here. I'm a big definition guy. I'm called a money mark because I put money into trying to benefit a show that essentially was terrible, that you tried to save, that Lee Tidwell tried to save, and currently the maintenance guy's trying to save.
Well, I would say I did save it, because when I took over, there was 15 people, sometimes less than that. And the superstar would come to us in the dressing room saying, hey, I can't pay anybody, so if you guys want to wrestle for free, go for it. And I think that happened for about a month before I took over. And a year and a half later, there was over 100 people in the building every Saturday night. So I did save him and keep him from losing his business about, 4 years ago.
I remember, and this is a shoot, 2 weeks before JP took over, Mikey Dunn coming to the back, as he was just saying, now this is a shoot. Mikey Dunn came to the back and said, guys, we have 4 people paid. I'm canceling the show.
We've got 32 in the crowd, but 4 are paid.
We actually had like 5 in the crowd, but 4 was paid. All right, now the guys that really wanted to be there, that actually stuck in there, guys like me, guys like JP, we stuck in there with them, tried to help them draw money, make profit, things like that. We were there, stuck there with them. We were loyal, and then JP takes over. Brings it up, what was it, 100, 125, 150?
Every Saturday night.
Every Saturday night on a consistent
Not
basis.
just on a big show.
And then,
every Saturday.
And then no surprise if you're anybody in this business, or if you know anything in this business, like you say you do, no surprise, Mikey Dunn being a promoter just like every other promoter around here, including Yukon Jack. Hey brother, I don't need you anymore, I got it from here. And then what was it, month and a half? It was back down to 31, 32 people
Lee
paid.
Tidwell took over for when I left. And I told the superstar there from the get-go that Lee Tidwell would be the guy to take over his show, because in the dressing room, Lee Tidwell was not a wrestler, and he didn't look at it from the wrestler point of view. And
Wait. Lee Tidwell wasn't a wrestler?
No.
But he was the ASW heavyweight champion.
Well, that's when the power goes to your head, and you would hope that they would be a little bit more smarter at some points, but... the hope would be that he wouldn't try to make himself a wrestler.
Lee
Maybe
Tidwell
I
was my
wrong.
tag partner at one point.
How'd that go?
It actually went
He
pretty
teach you a
good.
lot?
Actually, I think I taught him quite a few things.
He take most of the heat?
I like Lee though.
I like Lee Tidwell. That's a shooter.
Yeah.
Lee and
I got one good story about Lee Tidwell, and I don't have any problems with him, but I do have one good story about him. Drive all the way to Lewisburg. I had to get there late. I can't remember why. Supposed to be managing Freak Show that night. Freak Show didn't call me, let me know he wasn't going to be there. I got there around 8:45. That's when I found out Freak Show's not going to be there. So I say, screw it. I don't even get dressed. I'm going back home. I'm going to go home with my family, spend some time, get some rest. Lee Tidwell did come up to me with an envelope. Said, sorry, brother. Thought you knew. And handed me an envelope, paid me my money.
That's good.
That's something Mikey Dunn would have never done.
No,
Mikey Dunn would have said,
superstar
sorry,
would
bro.
have done that.
If you want, I'll see you next week. If you
I
want to
believe
come back
Chandler has done that. a couple
Chandler
of
has
times
handed
for
me.
you.
Yes, Chandler has pulled his wallet out of his back pocket and handed me money out of his wallet, not an envelope.
I'll tell you, I promoted a show in Columbia alongside Shane Morton and Jerry Morton. And, when we made money, we paid the boys extra. There's several guys out there that's worked for our show that they could ask. And we pay the guys extra because that's the right thing to do.
Exactly.
But, JP, you were talking about people wrestling for their own ego. When you look up the word mark at the definition of a mark, it's a wrestling fan who enthusiastically believes that professional wrestling is not staged. Well, we know that. But it also is used by industry insiders to describe a participant in the wrestling industry who believes that any aspect of the industry is more important than money they can earn. For example, being preoccupied with holding a title belt rather than being paid more.
Now, a lot of the guys that are eager to listen to this podcast will not understand that definition.
Well, so would you say that there may be people working on the independent circuit that would rather have a tag team title belt or a U.S. belt or a heavyweight belt around them than to get paid more?
I think that is the problem.
Do
That
you?
is the problem. I am 32 years old. I broke into this business right before I turned 15. Now, when I broke in, I was blackballed immediately because I broke in as a promoter and a booker before I was a wrestler. And a lot of guys, thought, here's this Mark who doesn't understand anything, breaking into the business, and we don't want to have anything to do with him. And agreeably so, because I was a mark and I didn't understand the business and I completely screwed up. Now, that was a learning lesson for me because I went back and thought, where did I screw up at? Oh, I didn't understand anything. Okay, so maybe I should learn this and then go back. So I've always looked at the wrestling business from the office or booker point of view, not the wrestler point of view. The wrestler point of view is a selfish view of just me and what is my payoff going to be, and am I going to get a booking next week? Where the office point of view is, how is this going to look overall in the show? Is it going to bring fans back next week? Is it going to make fans talk about what's going on? And I've always incorporated that into my matches or anything that I'm a part of. And these guys that are running the shows now look at it from the wrestler point of view. Jeremy Flint, for interest, Godzilla, Mr. Superbooker, who's booked a show for 3 months and still is drawing 40 people. And he has the best talent in Middle Tennessee today. He's got some of the best guys that'll go out there and bust their rear end every night to give the fans their money's worth. But you have a director or a producer, or however you want to phrase it, a booker or
woodchuck
that does not know how to put the right ingredients in at the right time and the right amount, and he doesn't know how to give the wrestling fans what they're paying to see, and that's entertainment.
And I'm not trying to take any sides, but SWF has had roughly 80, 90 people a week now. I'm not saying that I don't disagree with what Jeremy Flint does, because I like the guy. I like JP. I like everybody. I'm on everybody's side. I'm James Arp. I'm magnificent. Yes, I put myself over. But I'm just gonna go ahead and say this, okay? I don't want to be put in a situation where I have to choose between two groups of friends. Okay, so the people that are listening to this, don't think I'm taking shots at you. And don't think I'm on their side, and don't think I'm on your side, because I'm not. So don't come up to me and be like, hey, what do they say about me, blah, 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 blah. Because I'm not going to tell you. Okay,
Call
I'm
us.
not two-faced.
Call us, we'll tell you what we said about you.
Listen, we're saying it right here.
We're trying to use small words.
There's a difference between guys that are willing to come to you and say, hey, this is how I feel, and then this is how can we work this out, and then guys that are going to block you on Facebook and then go run and say run their mouth about you. I mean, the only person I've bashed through all this is Jeremy Flint, because I think he took personal shots at me and his little stupid podcast. So of course I'm going to fire back on him.
Well, here's the interesting thing about Jeremy Flint. One status said, I wish people would stay out of things that weren't their business. The next status, he's in somebody's business.
Exactly.
He doesn't know me. He didn't know me from Adam.
Exactly.
By the way, Chase, it's kind of cold in here. Can you go put like 4 pieces of wood? No, wait. We have central heat and cooling. I got off on the Jeremy Flint tangent.
Chase? Why is he got to do it?
Well, because brotherhood.
Brotherhood.
Brotherhood. Break him in.
Pay your dues.
So, pay your dues. So, the thing is, Jeremy Flint starts attacking people, but let's be realistic. The reason he did it is to keep his booking job. He wants to look like a hero to UConn. He wants to say, look what I did for you, UConn. It's like John Wayne Murdoch, Father of the Year, starts sending all these messages to JP and me and everybody else. You know what he needs to send? A damn child support check.
Amen. Amen. Now, the guy is a piece of trash. John
He
Wayne
sent
Murdoch.
one child support check and says, oh, I paid for my child. No, you don't. Hashtag loser.
How old is the child?
The child's, what, a year and a half now?
And he sent
one check.
I mean, come on. Now that says all it needs to be said right there.
Yeah, and he wants
He's a
to
backyarder.
Yeah, and he wants to bash the child's mother. But you know what? If she was doing all that when she was with you, obviously you're coming up a little short, Mr. Murdoch.
Well, doesn't he claim that the baby's his brothers or something? I mean, is that how big of a piece of trash that this guy is?
Well, think about that.
I mean, honestly, really, he'd rather say, "Oh, that baby's my brother's," than take responsibility for yourself. And that's really what this is about. Are guys that's not willing to take responsibility for their own actions. If I screw up, if I mess up, I'll be the first one to say, "You know what? I screwed up. That was wrong." I will apologize and say, "I'm sorry. I did not mean for that to happen." And then there are others that refuse to acknowledge their own mistakes or their own mishaps.
Well, it's really a shame that child has to be brought up not knowing who his dad is. But I'll just point out.
Well, it's probably better for the child.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Well, you know what's bad about that is I've had a DNA test sitting on my bedside table since Mule Day because John Wayne Murdoch professed that he was going to show up and he was going to take a DNA test so that he could clear his, well, what he purported to be good name. But the truth is, he's not interested in taking care of that child. He's not interested in taking care of that child at all. He's interested in one thing, and that's trying to be a professional wrestler that jumps off of barns so that he can say, "Oh, guess what? I work for Ian Rotten." When's the last time y'all saw Ian Rotten do anything other than hustle people out of money and get bitch slapped by Jeff Jarrett?
I don't even know who he is.
He was ECW.
You mean you don't know who Ian Rotten is? Oh my God, you're out of the Brotherhood, man.
Oh my God.
You're out of the Brotherhood. You're not getting
Let's not
booked.
be that important.
Hashtag not getting
He
booked.
was a star in ECW, and I mean, now his show, I will say, I've seen bits and pieces of it, and I've seen 50, 60 people in the crowd, and
But he was a star in ECW. When that's your claim to fame.
yeah.
Because Vince cherry picked all the
And this
real
is
ECW
pre-Vince
stars.
and Paul Heyman
Yeah.
working together too. So, I mean, we're talking what, 93 maybe?
They did what? Tape Fist with Glass.
Yeah.
Him and his brother Axel did some kind of dumb
Whatever.
something that
I mean,
Murdoch
if
would
that
do.
is what you're entertained by, I mean, so be it. I personally have never been entertained by guys that can jump off top of buildings onto each other.
Did Dick Murdoch do that? His granddaddy?
No, I don't think I ever saw him do
His
that.
purported granddaddy?
I don't think
His
it was.
granddad.
That's what he says. Dick Murdoch's his granddaddy. So, is he Jonathan Hodge, or is he Damian Payne, or is he Dick Murdoch, or is he deadbeat dad number 3,482 at Murray County DA office?
He's a pink tiger.
To me,
Pink Tiger!
Pink tiger.
That's it.
to me, he's the guy that smoozes the booker, and when most of the time the booker doesn't have ideas, he has one, and he's able to slither his way into a spot. That's what I've seen him do over and over again, and each time I see him fail at becoming or being over. I mean, no time, and have I seen him do any kind of angle or any kind of program in Tennessee? That's why he doesn't want to wrestle in Tennessee, I guess, where he was cheered or booed or it actually paid off. There was there was money to be made in it because nobody's ever really bought into him. I don't think he's ever really found his niche or his groove.
The same can be said about Jeremy Flint.
Jeremy Flint was
I've
trained
never
by
seen
Walking
Jeremy Flint
Bush.
walk out with Curtin and get a pop from anybody.
That's
From
true.
anybody.
I mean,
Never.
now when you've got a good heel in the ring, that anybody will get cheered. I mean, it will. But there are certain guys that need that heel to get them over, and Damian Payne is one of them, and Flint is one of them. That's huge.
Well, do you believe that, and I'm going to just put it out here because it was said and it needs to be addressed. Do you believe that TWA is stealing ideas from SWF?
Hell no.
DJ,
Can I? Negative. Okay, I work for SWF and TWA. The only thing at both of the shows that have something similar is me. That's the only thing. I love SWF and I love TWA. By no means, SWF is no similar to TWA, and TWA is no similar to SWF.
they're almost completely different rosters.
Completely.
And I can say from a creative point of view, I have no clue what goes on in SWL. The only question I ever ask, and I'll ask DJ and I'll ask some other guys I know were there, is how many people were there. But I asked about all the shows, and I always have. Anybody that knows me knows. I'm gonna say, hey, how'd Shelbyville Drew or whatever. I asked how many people were Drew. What is the bottom line when it comes to dollars? I don't care what you did to get there. I don't. I mean, surely if you're drawing 500 people, I might take notice and say, wait a minute, what are you doing at this point? But when you're drawing 40 to 60 to 70 people and you're doing roughly the same business that I am, why am I going to care what you're doing? I believe in focusing on what I'm doing and making it better.
Well, go ahead, DJ.
All right, I go to SWF every Friday night, 106 Southside Drive. Sorry, I just gotta plug it.
Each and every Friday night.
Yes, doors open at 6, bell time 8.
8 o'clock, bell time, $7 to get in.
Best concession stand in professional wrestling.
And TWA, Winchester, Tennessee, 401
First Avenue. Winchester,
Tennessee. I'm there every Saturday. Okay, Friday night I go, I see great wrestling, and I see great fans. TWA, every Saturday I go, and I see great wrestling and great fans. But at SWF, I see a whole different side view of wrestling and different fans. TWA and SWF, their fans are different. They don't get into the same thing. So you almost have to have something completely different, because why would you want to go to SWF on Friday and go to TWA and want to see the same thing?
Why do you want to watch a rerun?
So there's no point of having...
Well, that's what's always happened when Lewisburg and Tullahoma have worked together, or when the Superstar was running Shelbyville and they ran with Tullahoma, they started doing the same thing.
Yeah, because
the same guys.
They work together, so they share ideas.
Exactly.
And when they share ideas, they get the same thought and process in wrestling. TWA, there is nobody there that goes to SWF and comes back and spills the ideas. There is nobody at SWF that goes to TWA and tell them what they are going to do. Because me personally, if I wanted to go to SWF and TWA, which I do, I don't want to wrestle the same show twice every week.
Well, here's the thing. What booker sits around and says, all right, guys, here's all my ideas. Here's all my ideas.
Says, I'm going to come to you and tell you my idea, and we're going to discuss it, and we're going to hash this. No, it doesn't work like that. I didn't know this was a democracy. I always thought wrestling was run like a dictatorship.
Well, as a guy whose business partner is probably the greatest mind in professional wrestling, I can tell you it's a dictatorship.
And it should be.
There's no democracy. There's no voting. There's no anything. Talk to Dutch Mantell about working Memphis. He didn't have any creative control.
Well, really, especially when it comes to booking, I think you can have two guys. As long as one guy is the direction guy and says, this is where I want to go, and the other guy is the guy that says, okay, this is how we get there.
Exactly.
As long as they're on the same page and they have the same goals, two you can do. Any more than two, then there's too many cooks.
Right. Well, and that's what happened with WCW, a booking committee.
Sure.
It should never happen. You
That's
talk to
what's wrong
Ole
with
Anderson.
WWE today.
Right. You talk to Ole Anderson, you talk to Flair, you talk to Jerry Jarrett. Booking committees fail. I'm gonna ask a pertinent question here. I'm gonna ask you the youngest person in the room, Chase. What is the purpose of running a business? When you go to McDonald's, what's their number one goal?
Provide you a good hamburger.
Bull. What's their number one goal? It's not to feed their family. What is the purpose of a business, Chase?
You gotta make money.
To make money. If you are in the wrestling business today, that's why you're here today, DJ. Money Mark Radio.
Exactly.
Your payoff here will be better than what you get in Lewisburg.
Yeah.
So, if you're not running a business to make money, then you're not a good businessman. If you don't have a business plan, then you're not a good businessman. When I left ASW, a mutual friend of the Superstars and I called him and said, look, I'm willing to sponsor your show, but I need to know what your budget is. I need to know how much you're spending on concessions. I need to know what your budget is for talent, what your budget is for rent, what your budget is for utilities, and I will sponsor your show and I will help your show make money. This is a guy that has been in college for 8 years and could have helped his show. And you know what the Superstar said? I don't know. And are you just going to write me a check or what?
That's because Mikey Dunn doesn't understand business.
He does not understand business. And I would say that most people that run wrestling shows today do not understand business because it's a hobby instead of a business.
And they're doing it to be the star. They're doing it because, like you said earlier, this is their break from reality. This is their chance to pretend they're somebody they're not. I'm a personal believer that the wrestling business in Tennessee can be profitable again. There's no doubt about it. There's, in fact, an opportunity on the table now.
Well, I would say that our show was pretty profitable. I left with a good paycheck every week.
Well, I'm talking about to the point of what it was 30 years ago, to where wrestling meant something to the wrestling fans. And I mean on a broader view, where the National Fairgrounds were packed out each and every, Friday night to see the Fabs take on whoever. I mean, and there was passion. And that's gone. It's not there anymore.
It's a dying business.
I don't think, DJ, it's a dying business as much as it is a business that has been raped, molested, perverted,
Amen.
and just abused for people's own personal emotional gain, not financial gain, for their own personal emotional gain. And here's why I say that. And you guys can start complaining or doing whatever you want to do. You can turn it off. You can turn to your wife and say, man, I really hate that guy. I don't care. Here's the thing. Chase is sitting in this room. He's a 17-year-old kid. If Chase was failing school, I would tell Chase, you get your butt into the classroom and you stay out of the wrestling ring.
He is failing. Just to let you know.
Oh, he's a failing?
No, I'm not. Just kidding.
He told-
I got all A's right now in school, so.
He told me past sex ed. I didn't know. That must have been an after school activity.
What include all those answers?
So, but no, wrestling is not, in its current state in Middle Tennessee, going to be anyone's long-term profession that's going to pay their house payment, that's going to pay their car payment, that's going to do that. If you don't get a good education in 2015, you're not going to be able to survive.
That's
Sorry,
true.
BJ.
That's the truth.
But
Factory work.
factory work's fine. My mother worked in a factory, but you know what she did? She put food on our table. When you're 13, 14 years old and you're failing and you can't spell Lewisburg, you don't get a world heavyweight title shot or an ASW heavyweight title shot. You don't get it. You shouldn't be in the ring. The papers say not to be around wrestling.
That's it.
They say it. You know, this is not, if it's a brotherhood and you have respect for the business, then respect the business enough to make sure that there are adults in the ring. Because here's what's going to happen. Things happen all the time in the wrestling ring. Somebody busts this kid's eye open, there's going to be hell to pay. I mean, that's just the truth. And it's not going to be that Daddy Mikey with 9 in his bag are going to be able to take up for it. If you respect the business enough to make it believable. That's what wrestling has to be.
Well,
it has to be believable.
It's believable that a 30-year-old man can take down a 14, 15-year-old boy. For sure, everyone can believe that.
But it's not believable that a 14-year-old boy can defeat probably one, if not the best conditioned, built athlete on the independent circuit today, bar none.
I agree.
And that is Mr. Athleticism, Sean Hoodrich.
Both of the Hoodriches.
Oh, but they don't want the other Hoodrich. They don't want the other Hoodrich. You know why? Because he missed a back spring one time. They don't want Mike in Lewisburg. They don't want him down there.
Mike Cobb has one of the best drop kicks and moonsaults I've ever seen perform.
Yeah, but they don't want him. You know why? Because one, he's got ideas.
Oh, yeah.
And he's not, quote, in his place.
Well, that's the thing. That is the thing. And that's why there's so much heat now, is because me, as the HNIC, started running my mouth.
Hold on. House, what?
The head.
Oh, the head one. Okay.
Yeah. But when I started, like, I'm on Facebook now because of it. I guess I shouldn't stick up for myself to defend myself when someone throws out a blatant racist slur.
Brotherhood.
In fact, this guy's a fountain of youth. I'm sorry,
A fountain of knowledge according to Iggy.
Yeah.
We're not cousins or nephews, so and we say like it is, so that's why we have all this heat, and that's why we're black.
Well, I'm gonna say this, Mike Combs, you're a piece of shit. I said that. Bleep it if we have to.
We don't have to bleep it.
Well, if we don't have to.
No, we're not bleeping.
Bleep it. This is free reign.
I'm going to say this.
Tell them like it is.
This is First Amendment. I'll call Rob Dalton and we'll sue their ass.
I'm not hard to find.
Hashtag Rob Dalton, best attorney in town. See you, Mikey, done in court.
Let's see, I'll be at HWA this Thursday night in Shelbyville, Tennessee. It's right next to Kroger.
Hey, you know who can't be at wrestling on Thursday nights in Shelbyville?
I heard that there's
Royal Knight. The Reverend. Won't be there. Won't be there. Hashtag divorce papers.
Well, he showed up a couple of times. I mean, so maybe there won't be any legal repercussions for the superstar. We'll see how that.
Oh, I bet there is. There's mediation coming up soon.
I mean, can he afford another lawyer?
I don't know. Let's see. Here, I'm gonna help him out. Hey guys, Summer Heat 4. There's gonna be Scott Steiner, John Cena, Daniel Bryant, and the Big Show are all going to be at the Marshall County High School for Summer Heat 4 or 5 or whatever the hell it is. And there's going to be a body slam match between the Fabs and the Rock and Roll. They're going to body slam each other, and Mikey Dunn's going to come out and body slam them all and be there because he's got to pay his lawyer.
And Tommy Rich is going to be there to sign autographs.
Tommy Rich is going to be hid under the ring drinking beer, and he's going to get out and crap on a clear table.
Greg Valentine will be there, but you better make sure Rock's there with him.
Well,
I'm just throwing that out
that
there.
rocks will be $5. Quit trying to get a booking. DJ's just trying to keep a booking. Do what? You want to be there because Tommy Rich is going to be there? Wildfire. It's going crazy. Wildfire.
That's another thing, too. I called you Mark. You didn't hear me with Mark. Anyways,
I don't care.
We're on Money Mark Radio. Let's talk about why they call you a Money Mark.
They call me a money mark because I went to a wrestling show and it looked like crap, and I was pretty afraid I was going to get asbestos poisoning, and my children were going to. So I said to Mikey Dunn, who's my cousin, Malin Donovan Jr., no middle name because nobody was creative, that I can help your show.
I was going to tell you why you're a Money Mark.
Oh, well, tell me why I'm a money mark. I was just going to explain why I am. I don't know. Is it because I took care of somebody's kid when they didn't have insurance?
Here's the thing. They
what?
call you a Money Mark because either one, they won't work, or you're not dumb enough to work with them, or two, they've already screwed you over.
Well, they already screwed me over.
That's what it boils down to. I was called a mark for my first 5 years in this business, and the only reason
I still call you a mark.
Well, yes, he does, and that's the reason why. Because I worked with JP when I first came in, and that's why I was a mark for the first 5 years in my career in this business.
But are you driving your car or mine tonight?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that Jack, Mikey, Lawrence, Chaos, none of them ever had a problem coming to me and saying, "Hey, Chase, we need you to manage this guy because he can't get over on his own. He can't talk on the
You're a great
microphone."
manager.
Wait, I had a seizure. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I must have caused that now because
JP made me so mad. JP made me so mad I had a petite mal seizure. I'm sorry.
Hey, get this, Chandler. Chase told me that I even broke into Chaos Max Carnage's home.
What?
I broke into his home and didn't steal anything.
You just looked around.
Apparently, I don't know.
I remember that. That was the same night I was stalking Mikey Dunn. I am 500-pound stalker. I'm 3 pounds away from having my own freaking TLC reality show, and I'm a damn stalker.
Well, I'll say this. If I was going to break into Chaos Max Carnage's house, I'd have stole my 100 DVDs back that you borrowed from me that you still got, you prick. But
it was a gift.
We're coming for you, Chaos. We're coming for you, and we're going to steal all your wrestling dolls, Chaos. All of them.
Not your Wizard of Oz dolls.
You keep
Don't want your Star Wars crap, your Star Trekkies and all that. We're taking your all
Hey,
your
what did
wrestling
Chaos
dolls.
Max Carnage tell you, DJ?
Okay.
What did he tell you?
Chaos is about the only person.
Hashtag it was a gift.
Hashtag balls to mouth.
He's one of the persons in this business that I just cannot stand. Because
Hashtag paint my face, please.
he will say
Hashtag
something to you, and then, all right, get this. Sitting in the back at SWF one Friday night.
What a rush.
I was sitting there.
Brother.
I just got done wrestling. Just got done working a match. Come back, sit down.
Pain
little
clinic,
couch,
doctor shopping.
Just chilling. He looks at me straight in my face and says, "If you don't lose weight, you ain't getting booked." Okay, first of all, he's sitting there and
with his basketball-sized gut hanging over his
that's the only reason I don't like
You should have
him.
told him he could kiss 1%
And
of
then
your ass.
my dad.
Hey, them 1% bikers are bad some bitches. Don't bring up the 1%. That biker gang will kill you.
Oh my god.
And then my dad confronts him because it tore me up a little, and he says that he
What's
told.
with picking on kids and telling
I know, right? He told
No
me.
balls.
I'm bullied. He told my dad that he was just joking with me.
Be a
He
star.
said that.
But he wasn't joking.
No, because
No,
he
wasn't
told
joking.
JP the same thing about me.
I mean, yeah, he always thought that. I mean, I believe in getting over. If you're over, it doesn't matter what you look like or what you wear.
Chaos, Max Carnage. Really, a person that fakes an injury comes back 6 months just to get a pop.
But he's been wrestling for 10 years.
Well, it's easy to wrestle
Well-
for 10 years when you wrestle 3 matches a year.
Yeah,
But he's been on the injured reserve for
altogether
9.5.
about 12 matches, maybe.
Yeah, and 10 of them were with me. So,
Mhm.
I mean, come on. The superstar brother, who everybody hated.
The ultimate sting.
I mean, you don't understand how many times you had the superstar or Yukon Jack come up to me and just complain about chaos. But that's how the wrestling business is. I mean, people would talk about Joe being a stooge. I love Gypsy Joe. But he's no bigger stooge than anybody else. They'll go to DJ, hey DJ, Che Z said this, and this about you. And you'll say, well, Che Z's a piece of trash. He'll go right to Che Z and say, DJ said you was a piece of trash.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it works.
But you got to be sharply dressed to do that.
Speaking of pieces of trash.
Hey, let's do some word association. Word association. I'm going to throw a name out, and y'all give me your opinion. DJ, you may want to be out.
First word that pops
I'll
on
be
your
out.
head.
First word that pops in your head. Ready? Sharp dressed man Lawrence. Che Z.
Garbage.
DJ.
Pretty cool.
2 words. What did you say,
Oh.
JP?
Liar.
Chase, any input?
Liar.
Liar. All right, you ready? Mikey Dunn.
Egotistical.
Superstar.
Well, you know,
Terrible.
Chase come with a terrible.
Hey, but this is what I like. I got to put this out there though. When Chase was drinking the Mikey Dunn Kool-Aid, he said the most relevant comment he could have said. It was all about the money to Chandler. Yes, correct. It was all about the money I was giving Mikey every week that he would not buy a liability policy because Lisa Gordon Nichols wants to let her kid run around all the time instead of watching her kid like a parent should, and she didn't have the armadillo Gordon watch the kid either. Because, you know, and this is the way the wrestling world turns, is John Gordon, Mikey Dunn took his gun to meet John Gordon to get his pictures back.
His gun.
Yeah, he took his gun.
He's gonna shoot on
He thought, yeah, he was going to shoot literally on him. He thought John Gordon was going to beat him up. The armadillo John Gordon was going to beat him up.
Well, he could have.
He could have rolled in a ball.
John would have took Mikey out. That's
Well,
what it is.
I think just about anybody. And by the way, I want to put a little insight in here. Do we know why Mikey Dunn quit school? His ex-wife told me because people were picking on him about his glasses.
Oh, it's because he lost his toe.
Who knows? Okay, all right. Back to word association. Well, I think we ought to throw out there Nick Iggy.
Don't know him.
Talented.
Racist.
Fake.
All right, let's throw out there Brittany Love.
Rizzy.
DJ.
No comment.
That was 2 words.
Are you currently in a relationship with her? Are you
Not
currently
anymore. Not anymore.
Are you currently involved in a domestic relationship with Brittany Love?
Man.
JP, she's your ex-wife.
Alimony.
Chase.
No comment. at all.
Chase says I'm not
No,
touching
Wait a
that.
minute. Now, wait a minute.
Chase says
now.
I'm not touching it. That'll cut off my good time.
No comment. What's with the no comments? I mean,
No balls.
I don't know.
No, there's a lot of positive things that you can say about Brittany Love. She's a great wrestler.
She's got great teeth.
Most over a female worker.
Hey, now I'm gonna tell you, she's the most over worker at ASW.
Period.
But they won't put her in the ring because Mikey Dunn's afraid to be outshined
Exactly.
by Brittany Love. Brittany Love, we give you a hard time, but the truth of the matter is, Brittany Love is the most overworker at ASW.
That's true.
I don't know why.
Always has been.
She's the most overworker. I don't know why she feels the need to do the things she does with fellas, but she's the most overworker, and God bless her. Let's hope that being married turns her life around, because I think at her core, she's a decent girl, but she's got Herman, the dancing cameraman, as a dad. And she's got a great mom. I got nothing bad to say about Debbie. Debbie's a good lady who has to put up with a bunch of bullshit from Herman and Mikey and everybody else. So let me throw another name out there to you, David Norris.
Just one word.
Oh, you can put several words. He's like me. He's round. He can take it.
Liar. Stupid.
Compulsive liar.
Idiot.
So 12,000 pounds of meat today.
I mean, come on. I mean, how many lies?
Porn addict.
Bull crap stories. Yeah, just, I mean, there's...
DJ, what are you going to say? DJ's going to say something nice. He's got a great personality.
No,
He speaks well.
stick with reffing.
Stick with the ref.
No.
What do you got, JP?
Super D's all that pops in my head.
I like Super D's pretty funny.
I like David. I do. Now, I'm not going to say that he's not a liar, because he's lied to me quite a few times.
I'm going to go online and get David ordained at the Universal Life Church.
It would be easy, just fill out a form. But I like David. I really do. And David, I think, at his core, really wants to be a wrestler. I've seen him in Shelbyville wrestle this past couple of months, and he's impressed me to the point where I was like, hey, if you get away on a Saturday night, you're welcome to come to Winchester.
Like a catch can wrestler?
He's better than Mikey Dunn, and Mikey knows that too.
Well, how long did Mikey Dunn attempt to train the poor kid, and what did he show him? What did he ever show David? I think I've taught David more in the dressing room than he ever learned from Mikey Dunn.
Clothesline, hip toss, arm drag, Mikey Dunn.
Hip toss, arm drag, body slam.
Yeah. Lock up.
Walk around the ring. Smile at my family and the girl I'm sleeping with this week.
Don't forget to pull your tights up.
Hey, that's a family trait. All three do that. Brittany, God bless her, had a hell of a match with Mickey James, but she pulled her tights up 800 times. I'm like, damn, Brittany, stop.
Wrong way.
Yeah. Chase, any word? Any word on David? As a fellow
David.
referee?
I like David, but he owes me like $20 for my Seriously, like.
Seriously?
What was that?
I never see that $20.
It never shows.
Look, he owes Brittany like $210 for watching porn on Cinemax. So, did y'all not know that story?
Yeah.
It's a great story. Here's the story.
David's got a crutch about it, though.
What's He's real anal about things. All right, another word association. I'm gonna throw it out here. Psychomedic. I have thrown psychomedic out, so let's throw it out there. Psychomedic. What you got? Tag team of the year? What?
No. I don't know. He's always been cool towards me. Really. Only issue I've ever had with Psychomedic was a benefit we did for Spit Shine 3 or 4 years ago. And 6-man tag. Shoot, I don't remember who all was in it. But I know I remember Misty Heat was in the main, and it was Mark, and it was Psychomedic. If Misty Heat would tag Mark, Psychomedic would jump in. If Mark tagged Misty, Psychomedic would jump in. And I mean, that's the only issue I've ever had with him is, and everybody says it, is superstar. He thinks he's a superstar, and he's not.
Nobody is Mikey Dunn. What you got, DJ?
I think he's a great person.
What a shock.
I'm a good guy on this podcast. I don't just trash talk. Okay, maybe just a little.
I've got to say, I like Perry Lewis. I do. Now,
Is that the cartoon?
No.
The duck?
I like
with
Perry,
the hat?
I like Perry, the guy. Sometimes Psychomedic. Sometimes it can be a headache to deal with.
Did you like him when he slapped you?
When he slapped me in the dressing room.
Did you like it when he slapped you and called you a nigger?
Well,
was that him or Chris Kane?
Considering it was like the nigger calling the kettle black, it really wasn't much of a big deal. Chris Kane, I remember slapping him.
Oh my God, yeah. I wasn't there.
Hashtag offender list.
I wish
Chase,
I was.
what do you got, brother?
I like Medic. He's always been cool to me since I've been.
I had to throw him out the armory. How cool can you be?
Now, don't get me wrong. Now,
Hashtag not doing the job.
I do know as a booker and being in office, there are certain guys that you have to handle with kid gloves, and sometimes Psycho Medic can be one of those guys. But I've been viewed as that guy too, that don't tell JP this because he's going to snap. No, JP will tell you his idea, or maybe even tell you why he thinks your idea sucks, but I'll do whatever you want me to do at the end of the day because you're paying me. I mean, that's my job.
Well, with word association, I want to talk about a guy, and JP, you can talk about this guy too because y'all tagged a little while. But I want to show you how live and well racism is in professional wrestling today. You know, people talk about racism in Memphis. You've heard Virgil. Well, Virgil told me that Memphis was the most racist town that he's ever wrestled in. But there's a guy, and he's not perfect. But there's not a worker out there that is. But there's a guy that went out there and tried his best. He had a look about him. He was in Florida Championship Wrestling, and he just wanted a shot in ASW. And because he kiddingly flirted with the concession stand lady, Freddie Lee was never booked again.
Well, Freddie Lee is intimidating to a lot of these local yokels because, A, he almost looks like a wrestler. He has the build that if you was to put him in the proper attire, you would think this guy should be in Florida Championship Wrestling or NXT or whatever.
Something different.
Now, he definitely needed a lot more work in the ring, and he needs somebody that actually cared about his career to train him, other than saying, hey, we're going to put you in overalls and you're going to be a good old boy here in Lewisburg, Tennessee. I mean, that's just...
I actually remember first seeing him come through the dressing room in Elkmont, Alabama. That's when I first saw him. And he walked in and I was like, hey, gone.
Big guy.
Yeah. And just looking at him, you can tell that he can make it somewhere.
He could make
Good
it.
guy. He was nice as he could be. He listened. He wanted to learn. And I know JP tried his best to work with him. He always does.
I know the guy. I think he did want to do good, and he always felt like, I guess the way I've always felt, that there's like a glass ceiling at these local places where it doesn't matter how good you look or how good you are. It's, are you related to this person? Are you screwing this person? Is your last name this? And that's, of course, it's always going to be that. Nepotism's always going to be in any kind of social function where human beings get together. That's going to happen. But Freddie Lee, I think, really got screwed in the long run by promoters and guys not being willing to take the time to help him in the long run of his career. Much like a Big Cadillac. Big Cadillac. Here's a guy that's like 6'5", 6'6", 450 pounds, huge, and
Fast, too.
I took over a show in Shelbyville, and this guy wanted to wrestle, and just the look of him, I'm like, man, people will pay to watch this guy squash somebody, no doubt. So I take him to Jack. I'm like, Jack, look at this big guy. I said, big, he's black, and I think that he can make you some money. The first thought that comes into Jack's head is a cross between Umaga and Kamala. And let's put him in a leopard skin skirt.
Oh my God.
And have him go out there as this big Ugandan giant.
It scared me.
That's never been done before.
Racism.
Exactly what it was. That's exactly what
Or
it was.
we could, and here's a perfect example back to Freddie Lee. I said to Mikey Dunn, let's put Freddie Lee in a suit.
Why not?
Let's buy a replica $1 million belt. And let's make him the black $1 million man with a white sidekick.
There you go.
No. No.
I mean, that was always...
Not happening.
I mean, my
Not
thing
happening.
with a Smedley was always me being the black guy with the white slave and
Right.
bossing him around and playing off of them racial tensions that workers actually got upset about it and thought that I was shooting or that I am really racist. And I'm not racist. I hate all people. I hate all. I mean,
Hashtag Betty's white.
yeah. Hashtag my mother and father's white. Hashtag I still hate white people. So, come on.
All right, so let's talk about one thing we've all joined together to talk about, and that is bringing business back to business. The professional wrestling scene is going to change in Middle Tennessee. The folks that are out there bashing JP and they're out there bashing Chase and they're out there bashing, Chase and, glad handing DJ Arp.
They will be bashing DJ.
We'll be bashing
No matter
DJ.
it won't matter that DJ didn't bash anybody and he was very fair.
I know. I mean, golly, I feel like I got a politician in here.
They will.
He's playing smart. This is what some of you other jabronis should have done, was at least try to ride the fence instead of working on getting brownie points, because now hashtag you're not getting booked.
I know, JP knows, Chad knows that Chandler has the money and the ability to do pretty much anything that he wants in Lewisburg or Chevyville or Tullahoma or anywhere.
Let's be honest, if he wanted, he could have put them all out of business.
But here's the thing, and I want to say this. The reason I have a little bit of money, and I don't have a lot of money, but the reason I have a little bit of money is while Mikey Dunn had a 17 or 16-year-old girl bent over an AC unit in Tullahoma, I was busy writing dissertations. While, Lawrence was refusing to marry his old lady and moving her into a first-class trailer, I was doing clinicals. While Jeremy Flint was learning how to swing an axe and split wood to become the most economic woodchuck in America, I was busy building a business. So if I have a little bit of money, it's because I work my ass off. But that's the thing these guys forget. I've taken care of so many wrestlers for free.
Amen.
Because I felt like it was the right thing to do. I'm not a Yukon Jack Mark. I like Yukon. I've said 1,000,000 times I like that big son bitch. Because I think he's I did think he was a nice guy. I took care of him. I took care of a kid whose face was getting scarred up with acne scars
you saved his life in a way. Really?
Really?
You opened up doors for him that never would have been open if it wasn't for what you did.
But now I get bashed for it. I took care of a kid who was mauled by a dog because his dad was busy trying to be a wrestling owner. And I get bashed for it. But the truth of the matter is this. At the end of the day, we have the resources. And I don't mean just money. We have the resources in talent. We have the resources in a booker. We have the resources in a manager that can get guys over. We have the resources in the youth to put wrestling back on the map in Middle Tennessee. We have the arena. We have the ability to market this. And you know what, guys? Flyers don't pass themselves out.
No.
Jerry Jarrett passed out flyers to promote a show so that his mother could put a nickel back to save a nickel every week. And she had it when she died. If you're a promoter, you got to work. It's a job. It's not a title. A promoter has to promote his show. When you say, I can't go talk to people, then you're not a promoter.
And here's the thing. That's fine. Hire somebody to do it. Pay somebody to do that for you.
I gave Mikey Dunn Thursdays off to go promote wrestling, and he wouldn't do it.
I bet he stayed at home and watched Days of Our Lives.
I bet he stayed at home and watched Jerry Lawler have a foot fetish for guys with one toe.
He does watch Days of Our Lives. I caught him a couple of times. He does.
Don't cry for me, Marlena, and get out of the birdcage.
Because I even found out, I said, is Stefano still alive? He said, yeah, Stefano's still alive. So he watches Days of Our Lives.
Well, his life kind of is a Days of Our Life. I mean, he likes underage girls.
And he had to.
He hides in the
miss
closet.
a wrestling show because he had to go to graduation.
Yeah, he had to take. Hey, brother, I need off because my girl's graduating.
We know.
Well,
High school.
I'm Michael Dunn, Bouge Ghetto, got to graduate in high school, but hashtag MD Superstar. So Chase, look, we
she
got
was 16 already college more than he did.
Yeah.
Wow.
She worked the Superstar. So, Chase, what do you have to say? Because I'm tired of people picking on you. Because the truth of the matter is, Chase.
A lot of this has started because of Chase.
A lot of this started because people who think in-ring work is all that matters. It doesn't matter how you do promos. It doesn't matter how you work the crowd. They think if you can do a really good hip toss, then that makes you a damn expert in professional wrestling, and that's complete bullshit. It's part of the package. If you can't go out there and talk without stumbling over your words, or if you can't go out there and talk and get your point across, if you can't do a promo without talking about a fucking funeral, then you know what? Maybe you're not such a great worker. And I love the fact that I dictated ASW's promos for the last damn month. But anyway, I've controlled them by doing nothing because they're obsessed with the fact that I'm going to get my shit back and I'm going to sell it. But anyway, Chase, what do you have to say? Because people have bullied you, Chase.
Really, all this started because two guys were talking about me and my girlfriend at the time. I called them out on it. I come back to the dressing room after doing the last match that I was doing for the night, and I come back to the dressing room, and somebody was drunk
Drunk at a wrestling show. Wow.
Not surprising.
and
Business.
gets in my face in front of the booker and in front of the rest of the guys. Yeah, right here. He's 40 plus years old. Shake the booker's hand. I quit. I leave.
Because in a brotherhood, you are supposed to take verbal abuse from drunken comrades. I guess that's what it is. Or you're just not supposed to say anything.
Or in a business, you put rules up in the dressing room that say no drugs, no alcohol,
Well,
no cussing.
we know what a rat is. And here's the thing. It seems that SWF and ASW both are becoming proud of the fact that their guys, the ones they use every week, are now. These are grown men, and we're talking about guys in their 30s, some guys in their 40s, late 20s.
19.
10 years ago.
Are we talking about messing with the same rat?
Now, but here's the thing.
Around the world rat.
These are, they call them rats, but they're teenage girls.
And it's statutory rape.
And
I stay away
they're
from them.
they're 16, they're 17. When did that become a rat? That's
Statutory rape.
exactly.
1129 or more. But here's the thing. In the brotherhood, there are no rules.
But it depends on who you are. Let's be honest.
And
a
it's
Mikey
like-
Dunn can
yeah.
do it and it's acceptable and
Exactly.
hey, because he's a booker, but if a Chris Kane does it, then all of a sudden let's throw up the fact that he has that past or whatever.
And it boils down to that these little girls are the reason why Chase has all the heat, pretty much. So Chase, go ahead, continue.
Go ahead,
Sorry,
Chase.
I'm sorry.
So a drunk guy with a bald head got in your face. And what happened?
Say his names. That could be a lot of people in this business.
I got a question for you, Chase. Many of these workers and promoters and stuff say that you disrespect this business. What do you want to say to them? Do you think you disrespect the business?
No, because see, I do the exact same things that veterans do. The exact same things. But I get in trouble for it and I get called out on it.
I've never, now there's been a lot of stuff about him posting on Facebook. I've never seen him post anything on Facebook that was direct bash at any show or really anybody. Most of the times he's commenting about things that are happening in his life. And Facebook asked you what is on your mind. And if he, as a 17-year-old kid, says, you know, well, I feel bad because something happened earlier, but never goes into it. Who are you to go on Facebook and comment on the post and say, well, you need to keep your mouth shut, and you shouldn't do this, and you shouldn't do that? I never have seen anybody be admonished the way I've seen Chase admonished by guys and told to keep his mouth shut and all that when he's really not saying anything. And then I see guys that do run their mouths, aka your Nick Iggy's that want to stick up for a racist
Or your
piece
sharp
of
dressed
shit.
man.
You know, and these guys get these passes to say whatever they want and lie and do whatever they want because they're vets or they're buddies with the booker or whatever. It's really a disgrace to the wrestling business. And you all should be ashamed of yourself for like Chandler said earlier, raping, pillaging, and abusing this business for your own personal gain and not giving anything back.
I personally don't want to see wrestling get destroyed by a tons of idiots.
Well, that's already happened. I mean,
Well,
It's gone, dude.
and I'm going to go back to Nashville, Tennessee 30 years ago, drawing Nashville Fairgrounds, drawing every week to now there's no big show in Nashville. The closest thing you had was Saul, and Saul did good until TJ, God bless him, is gone now, and who knows what's up with Saul. But there is not that wrestling stigma in Nashville anymore. It's gone. And maybe somebody will bring it back. Hopefully somebody's going to step up and say, you know what, wrestling's not dead in the state of Tennessee, and we can provide entertainment, and you will get your money's worth when you come to our show. Hopefully somebody's going to stand up soon and say that.
Well, I hate to break your heart, DJ, but wrestling's going to be dead in Lewisburg. It's going to be dead in Tullahoma because I'm going to kill it. I'm a cancer. You know what a cancer is? A cancer is a cell that starts replicating. And it's one cell And then soon it's 2 sales, and it's 4 sales, and it's 8 sales, and it's 16, 32, 64, and on and on. And you know what? I'm not a 1%er. What I am is a guy that can influence people to do things for the better of the good of the wrestling profession. And you know what? I've got the resources to do it. And the greatest mind in professional wrestling is only a phone call away. We may not be best friends right now, but you know what? I am a cancer. I'm a cancer that's going to grow, and I'm going to shut the doors on the people that do it as a hobby. We're going to shut the doors because we got a business plan. We know how much we can spend on the arena. We know how much we can spend in concessions. We know how much we can spend on talent. We know how much we can spend on marketing. And I've got people that are on our team that are willing to go market, that are willing to go get sponsors, that are willing to go do the things that it takes to put a business on the map. So hear me loud and clear, Jeremy Flint and Mikey Dunn and Yukon Jack and Sharp Dressed Man Lawrence. You can pool all your funds from tanning hides, chopping wood, moving furniture, moving hot water heaters. But let me tell you something. I paid my dues in life. Maybe I haven't paid my dues in wrestling, but I paid my dues in life, and I've gotten to a place where now I own 6 businesses, about to open a 7th, and I've got the resources to do whatever in the hell I want. If I want to buy a kite business, I will. But what I'm going to do is take something that I love and that I have seen raped and pillaged by people missing big toes, by people who file fake workers' comp claims because they get their shoulder hurt at wrestling and they're too damn cheap to buy insurance, so they say they hurt it putting in a hot water heater. Lawrence Cartwright up at the great apartment complex you work at. By the way, how's that bankruptcy coming? But back to the wrestling part, we are going to be the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse for you. Jeremy Flint, you want to talk about 1%ers. We're not 1%. We're 100% sure that we're going to put your ass out of business. You got 4 guys that are solid as a team, and none of us want to be any greater than the team as a whole, and that's the problem. In Tullahoma, you want to be greater than the SWF promotion. In Lewisburg, Mikey Dunn, you want to push your kid to be greater than ASW because that makes you feel better about being a loser dad. So welcome to what is going to be known as professional wrestling in Tennessee. It's a business, and if you can't get a business plan, you're going to die.
Well, they better pull their resources together, and they'll have $150, and maybe they can print them out some flyers, because they're going to need something to combat the new show that is going to blow their socks off. I know that we're not going to release any, information specifically.
So you can call and try to sabotage it.
Yeah, but when it finally does happen, I do know there are going to be quite a few people that's going to be saying, you know what, maybe we should have kept our mouth shut.
And let me tell you something. You may have the best in-ring work that you could ever ask for, and you may be untouchable. But we're going to be the tsunami that takes over professional wrestling in Middle Tennessee, and it may expand beyond that. Because you know what? If we pull in 30,000 for a show because we fill up a 7,000 seat arena, because we have the resources and the connections to do that, then that's a lot of seed money for somebody to be a full-time wrestling promoter, somebody that may just be an international superstar.
Well, Chandler, it's like I told you last night when I texted you. I said this, and I really do believe it, that once all this goes down, you will be the most successful wrestling promoter in the Middle Tennessee area. And congratulations, because you already are. In a sense, the last show that you ran with Shane Morton, you walked away with money, and that's something that a lot of these guys can't say every week.
Well, folks, I want to wrap up real quick. I want to thank everybody for being with us. This is just the start of Money Mark Radio. Any closing words, Chazee?
Yes. Before you guys are begging and crying to come to our show, this Saturday, May 9th, Yukon Jack, Jeremy Flint, Mike Cohn, you racist bastard, you're more than welcome. We'll be out in the ring 8:25
Anybody
p.m.
else? I'd say anybody.
Any of them.
Nick Iggy,
All of them.
Anybody that
May
wants
9th,
some.
this Saturday night.
Chandler
Winchester,
even called
Tennessee.
out the superstar and sharp dressed man, so May
8:25 p.m. we will be in the ring. Myself, JP Case Jones, Chandler Anderson.
I have a presidential dinner. Can't be there.
Anderson will not be there. Me and myself, JP Case Jones, will be in the ring. We'll call you out like we always do. We won't expect an answer. But we do at least expect you to send some kind of word, something this time.
No, they're going to ignore it. They're going to no sell it.
You know, because it's a stupid idea, right?
Because they're going to no sell because they don't know how to work.
Because I know Jack didn't get an envelope that night. I sure did.
You
Jack,
got
how
paid.
much you get paid that night?
3
I
Lord.
got paid. I know that much.
He got 3 Lord taps from somebody.
Oh, Lord.
DJ, what's your final words? What's
My
your
final words is each and every Friday night, SWF Wrestling at 106 Southside Drive, Tullahoma, Tennessee. You can come see the best talent they got there, which is me. It's not Nick Iggy. It's not Kerry Awful. It's me and my best friend, Nick Lowe.
Hey, I've got to agree with everything you said. DJ is one of the best talents at SWF, but SWF is full of great talent. I mean, it's just they need some direction. They need a producer.
Is it heat? Is it wood heat? No, it's not wood heat.
TWA, Winchester, Tennessee, each and every Saturday night, 401 First Avenue.
From
Come
worst
see
to
me,
first.
the best talent they got there. And yes, I am going after that TWA heavyweight title, and I will get it.
Now, was you or was you not the first ever TWA Losers Champion?
Yes,
Let's not talk about that.
You copied that from Jeremy Flint.
Let me also
Damn it, Jeremy
tell
Flint.
you this. That night that I won that title, I lost my girlfriend.
This is a shoot. This is a shoot.
Seriously.
The next day, I got hit by a car, so I lost my job.
It's the curse of the belt.
Yes, but Bobby Lowe gets it, and he gets a job.
The relationship straightens out.
New dog.
Yeah,
Gets a new dog.
I mean, I'm telling you.
I got that belt and I got hit by a car, and then my house flooded.
I got that belt, and I was living with Nick Lowe.
Let's just say it's hard to find someone else to be a TWA Losers Champion.
Hey, I'll wear that belt proud because it puts me over.
You put yourself over, DJ.
Yeah.
I mean, you put yourself
Yep.
over. I'm going to put DJ over. DJ is a great talent, and if you haven't had the opportunity to see him perform, you need to do it because you will be entertained.
And DJ is just trying to give the fans their money's worth.
Always has been.
He's not out there trying to make Daddy proud. He's just trying to give.
But
the
you see, I
fans
think UConn set out to do that in the beginning. But you get so many ass kissers and people wanting to pull you one way or another that you don't want to rock the boat, that you're willing to concede for the business just to make people feel better. And I say screw people's feelings and let's just make some money.
That's right. McDonald's doesn't care about people's feelings.
Exactly.
So, folks, JP, what do you got to say to close the show? Take us
To
home.
close the show, I'm going to
Chazy's
say
over there
this.
rubbing his nose off his face.
I'm going to say this. After the waters have lowered and the smoke is cleared of the professional wrestling business, you people will know who's the man.
May night, you're invited. Open invitation.
May
8:25. We'll be there.
This has been a production of Money Mark Radio.
Now, if you can't see the money, get your eyes clean with Visine. I need 5 things for 7 digits at a time. See, my cheering, chillin'. The best, never worse. See, we never get the pebbles, they got the rocks first. Bang folks unlocking. Ching, ching, we mocking. I'm rocking. My family's Christmas stockings are shocking. Fine women anywhere. The naughty dinner, red leather. Call it chicken, whatever. Suddenly get better. I'm one smart cookie. The bets and smack rookies. My stocks are on top. Your checks bounce while mine boogie. Wrist, I must rock it. Chicks, stop it, I knock it. Cash looks like I got a gang of fists in my
Here
pocket.
comes the money.
Fist in my pocket. Fist in my pocket.
Here comes the money.